So I brought you here to a little bit talk about the Dalai Lama, but not really.
Right.
There was this exchange with a child last week, and
Mhm.
I was disturbed because the child didn't have agency to not accept this grown man kissing and then sticking his tongue out and asking him to suck it.
Right.
People were saying that when people get dementia or Alzheimer's, they sometimes have this lack of barriers or decorum, and there's behavior like this that is quite frequent. Is that the case, Dr. Nana-Yaw?
In a word, yes. But let's take it back a little further. So there are four main types of dementia. Obviously the most common is Alzheimer's, that we all know about 50% of the time. And sometimes it's coexists with what's called vascular dementia, which is dementia that happens after things like a stroke or a lot of inflammation of the brain too. And then we have frontotemporal dementia, which is less common. And that's happens in younger folks. And what happens there is there's a complete flip in your personality. So those people are more prone to the aggressive behavior, to some of these, what we call inappropriate sexual behavior, or behavioral psychological symptoms of dementia. And then the last one is Lewy body dementia, which more looks like Parkinson's, where you have the rigidity, the stoop posture, the depression, and also the memory loss and the functional loss also. So dementia is really just the memory loss and functional impairment, where you can't do things like, dress yourself, feed yourself, clothe yourself, and really just live on your own primarily. In terms of the inappropriate sexual behavior or the behavior and behavioral psychological symptoms of depression, that's a mouthful, dementia, excuse me, that is a mouthful. Yes, there are a wider range of changes that people go through. In terms of the sexual behavior itself, there's a change in response to sex. People may not want the sex. People may not be welcome to it, or there's a loss of intimacy. They may become more aggressive also. So there's that duality. Either you become apathetic or you become more aggressive. You may mistake someone for someone else. So if you are, I think the gentleman had mentioned before that called in last time, he was saying that his mother would see someone and try to fondle them, right? So they may be thinking that person could be a relative or a past boyfriend or the past spouse or so on and so forth. They could behave inappropriately in public, right? So there's a disinhibition of the control, pretty much. So we're just reacting on what we feel in the moment.
What is happening in the brain, Dr. Nana-Yaw, that is creating that? And how do we prevent it from happening? Because it feels like it's more prevalent now than ever. Like, I don't remember too much dementia, and maybe people weren't living as long. Is there something in our diet? Is there something happening in society that is, and it's disproportionately with Black people too? I read a study that Black people disproportionately are getting these outcomes. I don't think we deserve that after everything we've been through in this country.
No,
we don't deserve that.
not. So the number one risk factor for dementia, all dementias, is age. So we are living a lot longer. So just like if you have a brand new car, it's running nice and smooth, but as it gets older and older and older, it starts wearing down a little bit. So same thing with our organs and our brain in particular, right? You couple that with the Western diet, a lot of sugars, a lot of fats, a lot of things that we shouldn't be eating. Then the sedentary lifestyle, we're not exercising as much. So we had just talked about aerobic exercise, maintaining your brain cognitive ability, things like that. And then a lot of the things that, the lifestyle things that we can impact: smoking, alcohol drinking, lack of sleep, increased stress, all those different things play a role in dementia. In particular for African Americans, we already have predisposition for the inflammatory problems like high blood pressure, diabetes. So if you think about it, we're also living a little bit longer too. So it's all coupled together in this nice milieu or this soup of risk factors that leads to this issue. I won't say that there was less dementia 10 or 20 years ago, because as a matter of fact, every 20 years, the number of people in America or even the world doubles, who have dementia doubles actually. So it's been here. We're just probably hearing a lot more about it.